Okay, just bounce up and down. Just a little bit. I know you've had a long week of school, and you're ready to get hacking in this hackathon. Okay, so have a seat. Okay, so I am here to share for 16 minutes. 16 minutes. And then we'll get going with the sharing the porteurs de la projet, the sharing the projects, right? So who heard about the TEDx talk in INPT? The TEDx talk that happened in INPT in Rabat? Like yesterday or the 20th? Yes? No? Okay, that's cool. So what I'd like to do, so who would like to win this hackathon? Raise your hand if you'd like to win the hackathon. Raise your hand if you'd like to win the hackathon. Only some of you. That's okay. Okay, very good. So, what I'm going to share is one of the ways that you can succeed, not just in this hackathon, but in your life. How does that sound? Yeah? Excellent. So, I would like you to listen to me as if we are in a plane, and I'm the pilot, and you are the passengers, and the wings are on fire, and I am shouting instructions. So I would love and appreciate your total, full, and complete attention, because that is the most valuable thing that you have. Your total, full, and complete attention. So I'm going to give everything that as much as I can to you in the next 16 minutes, a distillation of the entire 39 years of the best of what I've learned, okay? So what would it be like if you knew you had what you truly needed in every moment? What would you think? What would you do? Who would you be? How would you approach life and business differently? And you may know, my name is Mathias. I'm a leadership and startup coach working in innovation here in Morocco, in Africa, and beyond. So, do you have one of these or one like it? Like a cell phone? Go ahead and take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Hold it up. 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 Okay, there you go. So the technology that you're holding in your hand is more technology than was used to take the Apollo spacecraft to the moon and back. Did you know that? Yeah, you may have heard that, right? So this piece of technology in your hand gives you the ability to talk to nearly anyone on the planet. And especially now, we're in a time where there is massive disruption happening with the new computers, robots, machines, artificial intelligence, and 3D printing that's happening. It's totally changing the face of the planet and how we do business and how we do life. And so the thing is that it's not really technology that's stopping us. It's something inside. So I found this out. So you may know I'm from California. My background is in technology. I'm also a former venture partner. And I worked at Yale University for 4 years. In 2012, I left it all behind. I asked myself, well, what do I truly need to be a happy human? And so then I moved to an island in the Pacific Northwest outside of Seattle and slept in a tent for a year to find out that that's the actual tent. So what did I truly need? And what was stopping me from getting it? I found out one day when, despite a pre-established agreement to do work trade for food, I felt uncomfortable even asking for a piece of bread from a friend of mine who owned the land, because the shared kitchen was in her home and I didn't want to inconvenience her. And so I thought, if me, with all this experience, had trouble asking for something so small, then I must not be the only person experiencing something like this. So it turns out that I'm not. Consider one study by Ann Case and Angus Deaton, Death by Drugs, Alcohol, and Suicide Among Non-Hispanic Whites in the United States increased a half a percentage point from 2000 to 2014, actually surpassing the death rate of African Americans in the same age group. Now, there have been some people who have looked and have said that the reason for this is declining job opportunities, which definitely exist and is true. But I think it's something deeper. I think it's their ability to be able to ask, to be able to connect to their purpose and ask themselves and ask others for what they truly need. So this is Brene Brown. She is a doctor in the University of Houston. She has studied shame and vulnerability for about 20 years. Raise your hand if you guys have heard of Brene Brown. Yeah, I see some hands. A little bit. So her TED Talk, The Power of Vulnerability, has been seen over 29 million times. And she's been featured multiple times on Oprah, the Oprah Winfrey Show. And that's Oprah right there. Right? So clearly there's some kind of interest in this topic. And so what Brene says is that vulnerability sounds like truth, and it feels like courage. Vulnerability and truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they are never weakness. And I know so many of us, and as I've seen that can be here in Morocco, are really afraid of doing stuff because we're afraid of what people are going to think. And that's something that is really challenging, and it's something that if we want to truly be successful in our life, and especially in a business as a startup, that's something we need to overcome. And I think that I was able to find something here that could help with that. So back on the island, and also another big thing here. So you like innovation? Get this. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. So back on the island, after trimming some bamboo and having what turned out to be a tasty piece of whole grain bread, I did muster up the courage to, ask for it. I asked myself, well, what is a true need? And what came through was simply that which is required for a satisfying life, and that which is required to understand and to use your full potential. So then I thought, this has to do with leadership somehow. and then I considered, what connects the great leaders of all time? People like Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, or even modern day business leaders, like Oprah or Richard Branson or Elon Musk. But more importantly, what is the thing that each of us can do to embody that sense of leadership for ourselves? And then the distinction of a true leader came through, which I shared in a workshop in the spring of 2013, which was attended by a retired Army colonel named Gregory Stone. And he appreciated, my talk and what I had to share. However, I did not know that he actually would stand up at the end of that gathering in front of 250 leaders in the closing, ceremony, and he stood up and he said, I would put Mathias's definition of a true leader on page 1 of the Army manual. And I was floored because what was really important was that what I had tapped into or received was something that not just resonated with me, kind of a techie, mystic, spiritual guy, but a leader apparently on the other end of the spectrum who was responsible for millions of dollars of equipment and thousands of U.S. troop personnel. So, are you ready to write? Are you ready to write this down? I invite you to write this down right now. So a true leader is simply someone who is authentically aligned with themselves. Someone who has a vision, and someone who knows what they truly need and is able to ask and receive it from both themselves and others. So I actually share more in depth and detail about this, about how it's possible to be aligned and to work from a calm and centered place in the training that I do for the open innovation for CIH Bank and then upcoming with LEDEC and HPS. And so that training is available. And so if I was to put something like, well, what is leading with confident vulnerability? It's simply leading while fully trusting in yourself and the universe to support you and your vision. So I've been here in Morocco, for about a year or so, being able to support innovation in various forms, and I've been glad that this message in various forms has been well received. In fact, I found some interesting connections in Arabic. I was on the train from Marrakesh to Casablanca, and I met someone named Nabil Hadi. He was a communications lecturer in the University of Edinburgh for many years, and we were talking about the meaning of sounds, of the letters in Arabic. So now, don't take what I'm about to say as true, just take it that it might be useful. So between us both, what he was sharing with me is that ha is really like the energy of intense emotion. And really, this really requires vulnerability. And you could say also that it's something that's very feminine, right? Receptive. Whereas the letter ka, right? That's really the energy communicates the energy of power or confidence. And you could say that's has a masculine energy to it, would you say? So what happens when you put those two letters together? You get haq, the right, or truth. And then if you flip them around, you get calm, a sense of purity or originality. So, I just got back from Dakar. There's Dakar from Gorée Island. Who's been to Dakar? Dakar, see some hands? Yeah, it's a cool place. I was there for a Sufi gathering of the Tariqa Tijaniya. And here's another picture from Gorée Island. And I was able to, despite cultural differences, I was able to make some fast friends. And I sat in on forums and conversations. This is an interesting, you want to make sure you're in this conversation. I was sitting in on forums and conversations about how it's possible to use art and creativity and entrepreneurship and awareness of the environment to be able to create a positive message for youth in contrast to an alternative message of religious extremism. And in fact, I was really interested and amazed in a conversation with Sheikh Mohammed Valsan, who basically shared with me that one of the goals of Islam, as understood by the Sufis, is the integration of masculine and feminine energies within oneself. So, regardless, oh yeah, here's another pic. So regardless of who you are, where you live, or what you believe, what would it be like if you knew you had what you truly needed in every moment to achieve your visions and dreams? What if 100 million people heard this message? And what if 1 million people committed to doing their best to living by these principles? What would happen if you committed to leading your own life with confident vulnerability? What would that do as an example for your family, your business, your school, and the nation, and as an example to the leaders of the world? So try this on for a weekend, and let's see what happens and walk together, and let's find out. Thank you. No, hold on. And this is you, and then so. Yeah, and then you want to put this on you. Mm-hmm. And can you?
We'll take that too. Thank you so much, Mathias. I'm sure that was really helpful for all the participants. And so I want you all to say yes if that was very helpful to you. Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Mathias. Yes. So it's about to start. I'm not sure if you're ready yet or not. So are you ready or not? Okay, I really love that. Everybody's hyped up, so I really like that. Okay. Come here, Mathias. It's for him to do this kind of thing. So.
Are you ready?
Whoa!
I can't hear you.
Okay, so
I can't hear
repeat.
you. Ready? Are you ready? All right.
Thank you.
Good.
They are ready right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so we're about to start the pitches. So, les porteurs de projet. Okay, I will ask him for that. Mathias, they actually want you to say it in Arabic. They want you to say, are you ready in Arabic?
Oh, how do you say it?
How do we say it?
How do we say it? I could say it.
Maybe just واجدين واجدين
Wait.
واجدين.
Wajdeen?
Yes, okay.
Wajdeen!
Thank you so much. You say it in Arabic. Alors, on va appeler les porteurs de projet, les porteurs d'idées اللي غاديين يبيتشيو باش يجيو كاملين لقدام parce qu'on va commencer les pitchs.